Galvanic isolation separates sections of an electronic circuit that works at different voltages by preventing the current flow. There are several ways how to achieve hardware galvanic isolation. We can use a transformer, a capacitor, a relay, a Hall effect, a magnitude resistance, or an opto-isolator, also known as an optocoupler. This is exactly what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to show you the exact steps how to design this printed circuit board with EL817 optocoupler for galvanic isolation. Huge thanks to the sponsor of this video, PCBWay.com, for helping me out with the prototypes. I have received 10 prototypes of the printed circuit board. Each one of them is with a green solder mask and a white silkscreen. Although this particular board is quite simple and has only 2 layers, PCBWay is capable of manufacturing far more sophisticated boards with up to 14 layers. Additionally, PCBWay also offers assembly services, CNC 3D printing, metal sheet fabrication, and injection molding. It's a one-stop shop for your product or prototype. An opto-isolator, also known as an optocoupler, is a device that uses light to transfer electrical signals between 2 isolated circuits, providing galvanic isolation to prevent high voltages from affecting the system receiving the signal. There are many different optocoupler chips on the market. In this video, I'll use EL817. The optocoupler consists of an LED with a photosensitive component, such as a photoresistor, within a single package. When the LED is activated by an input signal, it emits light detected by the phototransistor, thus transferring the signal while maintaining electrical isolation. A practical example is to convert 12-volt logic, which is popular in the automotive industry, which means in the cars and most of the vehicles, to 3.3-volt logic, which is common for Raspberry Pi, single-board computers, and various microcontrollers. This video is focused on a printed circuit board using EL817 optocoupler. It has 4 pins and it's manufactured by Everlight. More details about it are available in the datasheet. I have designed this little board using KiCad. KiCad is a free and open source software for designing printed circuit board that runs on Microsoft Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. I'm using it on Ubuntu. This is an open source hardware printed circuit board. I have shared the KiCad project and all schematics in GitHub. A link is available in the description of the video. First, let's have a look at the schematics editor in KiCad. The board is very simple. There are only 5 components. There are 2 resistors, 2 screw terminals, and the optocoupler. The values of the resistors have to be calculated depending on the value of the direct current of each side of the printed circuit board. Once we are done with the schematics, we can move to the PCB view where I have designed the outline of the board. My main use case is 12 volt to 3.3 volts, but I have also added options to change the resistors and to use it with 24 volts or 5 volts. Because of this, I have white silkscreen where I can mark the exact values depending on the resistors that I'm using during the soldering, which is going to be done on the next step. I exported the Gerber files from KiCad, uploaded them to PCBWay.com, and after a few days, here I have the prototype. Now it's time to solder the components on the printed circuit board. Although 3 of the components are for surface mount technology, for this prototype I'm gonna hand solder them. Soldering surface mount technology components, it's actually simpler than you think if the components have just a few pads. My soldering iron is Veller, and I'm also using Anavi fume extractor. This is an open source hardware gadget that I have designed a few years ago. Basically, the idea is to get the dangerous fumes out of my face. The final soldering step is to add the through hole components. There are 2 terminal blocks. One of them is with 2 pins and the other one is with 3 pins. With a pen, I'm going to put 2 marks so that I can know in future what kind of resistor I'm using and for what type of direct currents is this board set. The board is ready and now I can use it. As written on the back of the board, keep in mind that open source hardware gives people the freedom to control their own technology. The left side of the printed circuit board is for the higher direct current, in this example 12 volts. On the top we have the positive side of the 12 volts, and on the bottom left we have the negative, the ground side of the 12 volts. On the right side we have 3 pins. The one on the top is for 3.3 volts, the one in the middle is for the GPIO, which can be connected to a Raspberry Pi single board computer, which is 3.3 volt tolerant, and the bottom one is for the ground. This is the ground for the 3.3 volt. Let's have a quick look again at the datasheet of EL817 optocoupler. The typical forward voltage is 1.2 volts. The max forward current is 60 milliamps. However, the common forward current for reliable operation is between 10 and 20 milliamps. Here is the formula to calculate the value of resistor R1 on our printed circuit board. Let's replace the values and do the math to calculate the right value for the R1 resistor in each case, for 12 volts and for 24 volts. For 12 volts it's gonna be around 1.1 k ohms, and for 24 volts it's gonna be around 2.4 k ohms. These are typical values for resistors that you can find on the market quite easily. Choosing the right value for the R2 Pull-Up Resistor depends on the specific requirements of your circuit and the application of the optocoupler that's in the circuit. Typically, the range for digital logic applications is from 1 kΩ to 10 kΩ. In my case, I'm using 4.7 kΩ resistor for R2. Now it's time for a quick demo. Galvanic isolation separates functional sections of electrical system to prevent the current flow. This way you can have a printed circuit board with different sections that work at different voltages. For example, 3.3 volt logic that is common for Raspberry Pi, ESP32 and various microcontrollers, and higher direct currents, for example 24 volts or 12 volts, which is quite common for automotive or industrial applications. My demo setup features a developer board with microcontroller ESP32C3. However, you can do the same with any other microcontroller or single board computer that's 3.3 volts tolerant in terms of GPIOs. I'm providing 12 volts to the left side of the printed circuit board that I have designed using a lab power supply. Using a multimeter, I'm measuring the voltage, and as you can see on the right side of the printed circuit board, we have a logical level of 3.3 volts. For the second part of the demonstration, I have created a simple Arduino sketch that's flashed on the ESP32C3 microcontroller. It reads the state of the GPIO. This is a digital value. As you can see, the value changes depending on the state of the 12 volt power supply. I'm switching it on and off. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you like this little board. And if you like this type of content, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and hit the like button. Stay tuned for new videos.